Break the ice. Fun ways to introduce yourself. Feeling shy around new classmates? Try these fun ways to introduce yourself. 1. 2 truths, 1 lie. Each person says 3 statements, 2 true and 1 false. Others guess the lie. For example, A. I have a dog and his name is Hey. B. I eat dumplings by separating the wrapper and filling. C. I met Tom Cruise once. Which one sounds too wild to be true? 2. Never have I ever. Students take turns saying, never have I ever done something. If someone else has done it, they raise their hand. For instance, never have I ever skipped class. In order to make the game more fun, keep your statements surprising yet simple. 3. Name chain. Students say their name and a fact about themselves. The next person repeats the previous statements before they add their own. If a person before Mike is Lily, Mike should say, she's Lily. She likes swimming. I'm Mike. I love cats. Good memory is essential. Why not give these games a shot?
Today's warm-up quiz is...
During the test, Sarah decided to blank the difficult question and come back to it later. A. Rush. B. Toss. C. Skip. D. Harm.
You have 15 seconds to think about it. Time's up.
Hello and welcome to English for You. I'm Mike.
I'm Nikki.
And today we have an article for you called Break the Ice, Fun Ways to Introduce Yourself. Yeah, we're breaking the ice in a different way. Breaking the ice in a conversation or when you meet people. That kind of means just getting things going. When people are nervous and shy and no one wants to be the first person to do something, someone will say, well, I'm going to break the ice. I'm going to go first. I'm going to be the person who gets the fun started. So it has nothing to do with going out on a lake on a cold day and breaking the ice or anything like that.
So we have some games and activities.
We do. We have fun ways, and these are very useful to introduce yourself. Because often in the month of September, you might be at a new school, you might be in a new class, you're getting to know a bunch of new students, and they're getting to know you. So these fun games to break the ice, to get to know people, can just make all of that less stressful and more fun for everyone. So what do you say we get to it?
Yes, let's go.
Okay, the article begins with a question. Feeling shy around new classmates? Oh, I don't know them. They don't know me. I don't know. You talk first. I don't want to talk first. I'm shy.
I'm Mike.
So if you feel shy, that means you don't feel confident. You're not like, yes, I can do anything. You're like, I want to disappear into the corner so no one will talk to me. That's feeling shy, and it is quite normal to feel shy around new people, right? You don't want to say the wrong thing and look stupid. You don't want people to not like you.
You want a good first impression.
You want a good first impression, but you're feeling pressure to do it. So sometimes you're like, I just won't say anything, and that's better than saying too much. But that is something that happens when you feel shy, and it can be normal around new people. New classmates at school is a good example. So if you ever feel that, try these fun ways to introduce yourself. And yeah, you can use this in your class when you're meeting new classmates. You can also, if you're at a job, you can use this at your job when you're meeting coworkers or something. These can be useful in many different times in life.
那今天的课文要带大家看看一些适合破冰的游戏和方法，让大家可以更快速的认识新朋友。
So here's our first game, 2 truths, 1 lie. All right, that's the game. That's the name of game number 1. 2 truths and one lie. I guess you say two things that are true and one thing that is a lie. You just make it up. But you have to make a lie that sounds like it could be true.
So people don't know which one is the lie.
Exactly. If I say my name is Mike, I am from Canada and I've been to the moon. You'll probably be able to guess.
You're not Mike.
I'm not from Canada, but I'm from the moon. That's why I've been there so much, of course, yes. Each person, it says three statements, two true and one false, meaning not true. Others guess the lie or they guess the false statement, the thing that you say that is not true. And what is a statement? It's a thing that you say. And it's often in a formal kind of way, like I'm going to the store. That's not really a statement. I'm going to the store and I'm never coming back.
Very strong statement.
That could be a big statement. And we're like, wow, okay, we should really listen to this because these are big words, important words, words you should pay attention to. Often with statement, we might put the word official statement. So when the government says something, when the president makes a big announcement, when a celebrity says something, and it will be in the newspapers every day, right? If a famous basketball player says, I'm quitting my team and I will retire at the end of the year. That's a big statement. It will be in all the sports newspapers and websites and that kind of thing. So it's something you say, but it's kind of a special or important thing that you're saying. For example, at the end of the meeting, the boss stood up and made a statement about retiring next year, probably a short speech with this very important announcement.
那首先第一个游戏呢是有关自己的2个实话和1个谎言，那你要告诉大家3个说法，让别人猜猜看哪一个是假的。Statement 这个名词指的是说法或者是陈述 So something that you write or say officially to tell people your opinion. So you can make a statement, give a statement. 那它其实也是 announcement 公告声明的意思。
All right, here's an example of the 2 truths and 1 lie game. Here's my statements. You have to guess which are true, which are false. A, I have a dog and his name is Hey.
Oh, hey.
Hey. Yeah, that's fun when I go to the park. Everyone's very confused when I'm going, hey. B, here's B, statement B, my second. I eat dumplings by separating the wrapper and filling. I kind of like to pull them apart. Some people do it with their cookies. Okay. I do it with my Don't judge. Don't judge. I can eat my dumplings. You're not the dumpling police. C, I met Tom Cruise once.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, when I was walking, hey, I saw Tom Cruise. So I went, hey, and then my dog barked, and he went, hey, and I went, hey. Oh, it was a thing. Anyway, which one sounds too wild to be true?
The dumpling one.
Really?
No, I'm kidding. Tom Cruise. I mean, we don't see Tom Cruise every day, so.
It's the hey one, actually.
Really?
Yeah, no, I don't have a dog. I have a dog named You. So I go, hey, you. Let's go back to the article. We have dumplings to talk about. More important. All right, we're talking about dumplings. That's a food that we mentioned there. We separate dumplings by separating the wrapping from the filling. That's kind of what a dumpling is. It's a food often made by hand, although you can buy them in bags from factories. But basically, you have something inside. That's the filling. It can be meat, it can be cheese, it can be potatoes, it can be vegetables, all sorts of stuff. And around that, you have a thin layer of dough. So think of xiaolongbao. Think of steamed dumplings. There are many types of dumplings from all around the world, some small, some big, some hot, some cold even. And here's another example. A pierogi is a type of delicious dumpling from Poland, often filled with potato. And to separate is to remove one thing from another, especially when they're kind of joined together or attached in some way. You might break something apart. If you're separating a piece of bread from a loaf, you might rip it off, you might cut it off. And of course, some things that are stuck together, if you have 2 pieces of paper that are taped together or are glued together and you need them apart, then you have to separate them. But of course, you could rip the paper. Here's an example. The chef's quick hands and sharp knife separated the fat from the rest of the steak in no time. He wants to cut off that fat or separate the fat from the juicy steak.
那回到刚刚的3个陈述的东西呢 A 选项是我养了一只狗，它叫 Hey。那 B 选项我吃水饺会把皮跟馅料分开吃。 C 我有一次遇到汤姆克鲁斯，那大家觉得哪一个听起来是最不可能的呢？Dumpling 这个名词指的是饺子 So also we can see wonton 馄饨
Ooh, yeah, those are good dumplings.
Yeah, and for Italians, they have gnocchi, ravioli. So
Is gnocchi a dumpling? Because there's nothing really inside gnocchi.
But when I search for it, it says it's a potato. They have potatoes.
It is classified. Okay, I'll give that one to you.
And separate 这个动词指的是把什么东西分开或者是分离 to divide or to split into different parts. 那如果当形容词的话，指的是各自的或者是单独的。So for example, my husband and I have separate closets. We don't put our clothes together.
You like to separate your clothes in separate closets. All right, game number 2. Never have I ever.
Oh.
Ooh, playing this with people you don't know, that could be very embarrassing. Yes.
Yeah.
So this game, Never Have I Ever, students take turns saying, never have I ever, and then done something that you have done. If someone else has done it, they raise their hand. Yes, so you have to be kind of careful with how you play this game because you don't want to tell something that's something embarrassing or something you shouldn't have done, but you also don't want to say something obvious that everyone else has done.
Because the ones raising their hands would be the one losing, right? 那另外一个游戏呢是 Never Have I Ever 指的是我从来没有做过某一件事情。那这个游戏呢就是轮到你的时候，你要讲一个你从来没有做过的事情。那如果在场的其他人有做过，他们就要举手，或者是有时候是要折手指。那 take turns doing something 指的是轮流。那不过这边似乎我们的 AI 好朋友好像有话要说，让我们一起来听看看。
You know what I'm saying? Need a good laugh? Welcome to our joke section, where learning meets laughter. Big words make me sound smart, even when I don't know what they mean. Never have I ever used a word I couldn't even pronounce.
All right, for instance, the article goes on to give us an example of how you might play this game. For instance, you might say, never have I ever skipped class.
Oh.
Yeah, so I've never skipped class, but if someone else has skipped class, they might have to put their hand up and go, oh, I've done that. What is it to skip? To skip is to not do something that you usually do or you should do. Something in your schedule, something on your list of activities, and for some reason, you don't do that. You don't go to the class. You don't, do that thing that you should have done or that you have on your timetable. So you skipped it. Maybe you'll do it tomorrow. Maybe you had a good reason to not go. Maybe you're just feeling lazy and you stayed home. But if you skip too many things, you'll probably get in trouble. But once in a while, we have to skip things because we can't always do the things we expected to do. Here's an example. Since you skipped your last dentist appointment, you have to go to your next one, okay? That's, I think, good advice. Don't skip more than one dentist appointment in a row. Otherwise, your teeth will get angry.
那 for instance 指的是例如 for example 那举例来说你可以说我从来都没有翘过课那这个时候有翘过课的同学呢就不得不举手大家就会知道一些有趣的小秘密 skip 这个动词是不做就 avoid or you don't do things that you normally would do or should do so you can skip class skip school or if you're on a diet you skip lunch 你跳过你今天不吃饭那所以今天的 warm up quiz 我们就看到了 During the test Sarah decided to blank the difficult question and come back to it later. 那答案就是
C.
skip， 因为这边当作是跳过。那这个困难题目，所以他先跳过不看。
那其他选项的意思 A. rush 的是匆忙做某一件事情 B. toss 是投或者是掷那 D. harm 指的是伤害。
All right, in order to make the game more fun, keep your statements surprising yet simple. All right, so to make the game more fun, you don't want to say clear, obvious, easy things that everyone's done, but also keep things simple.
那这句也包含了我们今天的文法 Let's take a look. 那今天的 language and focus 要看到是 in order to 的用法 in order to 加上一个动词是指的是为了要做什么事情它可以放在句首或者是句中那它的句型是一个主词加上动词 in order to 再加上另一个动词那或者是你可以把它放在前面 in order to 动词主词再加另外一个动词那放在句首的时候 in order 常常会直接被省略 So for example I gave my puppy a treat in order to make him happy after his bath 所以呢，这边的 in order 省略的话，可以说 To make my puppy happy after his bath, I gave him a treat. 那如果用到的是否定的用法，直接在 in order 后面加上一个 not， 变成 in order not to。那注意，这时候的 in order 就不可以省略了。So for example, I whisper in order not to wake up my little brother who was taking a nap.
Okay, game number 3 that you can use as an icebreaker when you're meeting new people, the name chain game. Just name chain. Students say their name and a fact about themselves.
Oh, okay.
And then we create a chain through this way. What is a chain? Well, a physical chain in the world is something made up of often pieces of metal or plastic or maybe wood, and they make rings, and then you link the rings together, and then you have something long. Chains can be very strong. We can pull things with them. You might see a chain on a boat, with that thing that they drop in the water to kind of stop the boat. That will be a chain, or maybe around a fence or something. But we can also have a chain of activities or a chain of actions. One thing happens, then another thing happens, and it kind of goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And as long as those things keep happening, that is your chain. For example, through an amazing chain of events, Jackson missed his airplane, met Steph Curry, and ended up going to an NBA game as a VIP guest.
Wow.
Incredible chain of events.
那 chain 这个名词指的是一连串的或者是一系列的 so connected series of events. Also, it can mean shops, hotels, or places owned or managed by the same company or people. So chain store 指的就是连锁店 for example, 7-Eleven, Starbucks, or McDonald's, right?
Absolutely. Big chain stores and also restaurants as well. Fast food restaurants and stores, yeah. The next person in the chain game or the name chain, the next person repeats the previous statements before they add their own. So Bob might say, I'm Bob, I like fishing. I would say, I'm Mike, I like music. He's Bob, he likes fishing.
Nikki, I like to sing. And then Mike, he likes to go fishing.
No, music.
Music.
Bob.
Yeah, then I'll be very bad at this
Bob.
game. Bob who likes to go fishing.
Thank you very much. There we go. So that's how the chain game, the name chain game would work. So previous is the one that came before. Remember in our name chain game, we had one person talking and then they would have the person talk after, but they have to remember what the previous or the first person did. Here's another simple example. If we're talking about the days of the week and we're on Tuesday, what would be the previous day, the day before? Of course, that would be Monday. So the previous is the one or ones that came before. For example, last year, we went to an Italian restaurant for your birthday. But do you remember what we did the previous year?
那另一个游戏呢，就有点像是什么什么列车、极速列车出发啊之类这种。那就是大家可能有一个主题，然后就一直接龙下去。那这边的主题呢，就是每一个人要讲自己的名字，然后搭配上一个有关自己的事实。那接下来下一个人就要记得上一个人讲过的话，再接着讲自己的。Previous 这个形容词指的是先前的 so happened before the event or before the thing you talk about now. So you can also use last or old or preceding. 那 previously 这个副词是指的就是一样也是先前的东西。那 previously on something something. So you hear that a lot on the recap on the show.
Yes, previously on the show, and they show you what happened yesterday or last week or the show before. Exactly. Back to the article, it says if the person before Mike is Lily, Mike should say she's Lily, she likes swimming. I'm Mike, I love cats. And then the next person would say he's Mike, he likes cats. She's Lily, she likes swimming. I'm Joe, I like comic books, and on and on and on until someone forgets, and then we start all over again.
Exactly. 那所以越后面讲的人就要记得越多东西，那一直重复下去，大家也可以更记得其他人的名字，还有讲过的东西。比如说 Lily 她说我是 Lily， 我喜欢游泳。那下一个人 Mike 他就要说哦，他是 Lily， 他喜欢游泳。我是 Mike， 我喜欢猫咪。
Yes, and as you can guess, and as the article says, good memory is essential. It's very important to have a good memory. So why not give these games a shot? Why not try one of these games out next time you're with a bunch of new people and you're feeling all shy? You cannot feel shy. You can have fun, and you can break the ice with these games. And then they can be used in all sorts of fun ways after that as well.
那所以良好的记忆力是很重要的，为什么不试试看这些小游戏呢？ Essential 这个形容词指的是必要的、重要的， so something that's important or necessary. Why not do something 指的是为什么不做某件事呢？用来是提出建议。那 give something a shot 指的就是试试看某一个事物 give something a try. 那喜欢今天的主题吗？不要忘了按赞、订阅、分享我们的 YouTube 频道和 Facebook 哦。
Yes. We have a chat question for you guys. Here it is. Some people feel nervous when they introduce themselves. What advice would you give them to feel more comfortable? You, my natural, comfortable, confident friend, Nikki.
Me?
What advice would you give people?
I would say just pretend that you're the best of everything. You say, I'm so good at this and that and this and that, and you intimidate people. Right on.
Wow, okay. Well, I think you're partly joking, but be confident. Believe in yourself.
Confident.
Yes,
Exactly.
absolutely. Everybody has something interesting about them. You might have to find it for yourself, develop it, but just because you like something weird, don't think that other people won't. Other people might, and I think more importantly, many other people will be very interested in what you're doing.
Exactly.
So I think that is something you always should believe in yourself. Thanks for joining us, guys. Take care of yourselves and each other. And we'll see you back here sometime soon. Until then, all the best and bye-bye.
Bye.
Vocabulary Review.
Statement. The teacher asked the students to write a statement expressing their opinion on the chosen topic. Dumpling. Before dinner, Leo shaped the dough and meat into small dumplings and dropped them into boiling water. Separate. The two students wouldn't stop talking, so the teacher separated them. They don't sit together now. Skip. Henry was so tired that he skipped taking a shower and went straight to bed. Chain. The storm started a chain of events that caused many delays at the airport today. Previous. Mark likes his current job as an artist more than he liked his previous job as a waiter.
智慧小补帖
Essential.